The TSRETE S12 is a great budget-friendly wearable pump for part-time or occasional pumpers. Now in this review I am going to walk you through the things I love and the things I think that you might want to consider before making your purchase to determine if this is the right pump for you. Now to start with, I love that this gives you control over your pumping session. There are 9 different suction levels and 2 different modes. So you have a massage mode, which is to help you with your letdown, and then a pumping mode, which helps you with expressing your milk. There's also a handy little memory function. Now in terms of suction levels, 9 is really quite up there with some of the more expensive pumps. In terms of just the 2 modes, most generally have a third option of being either a mixed or an auto. But that said, I do really feel for a budget wearable pump that this, the 9 suction levels and the 2 modes really does give you control over your suction and your pumping session. In terms of battery life, now this is where I feel like this pump is made for part-time or occasional pumpers. The battery life is up to 80 minutes. Now that really is only enough for 3 to 4 20-minute pumping sessions. And with a recharge of 2.5 hours, I would think that this is probably a bit difficult to use this as a full-time pumper. And further to that, it only has a suction strength of up to 240 millimeters of mercury. Now that is powerful and it's more than adequate, but it's not a hospital grade suction strength that a full-time pumper would probably prefer. That said, there are some great features on here. There is, if I turn this on, the screen, is going to make it flickering, but in real life it does not. It is a nice clear screen. But you can see on there that it also has a timer. I love that it has an inbuilt timer, so you are able to keep a track of your pumping sessions and then monitor or change it as you go. It is also extremely user-friendly. There's only 4 buttons. You can flick between your mode and increase or decrease your suction levels, which I think is really a great feature when you're not needing to necessarily concentrate in making your pump work. I also love that the cups are transparent. If you are wearing this in your bra, if you can imagine, you can see down and see how much milk you have expressed. And I love that because it makes a nice quick glance. Again, an easy way to keep track of your pumping session. The collection cups are up to 6 Oz. You only really need to have it at 4, so the extra 2 Oz is great for those that tend to have a little bit excess milk. As well as got a 30-minute auto shut off, so this is a safety feature, but it's also really handy in case you forget to turn off your pump. You're not going to completely drain your battery. If I take off the battery section, you can see that there's a really easy pouring spout as well, so you're less spillage. There's also only a few parts to this, which makes cleaning this nice and simple. One downside though is that the parts are not dishwasher safe. It is hand wash only. The silicone's incredibly soft, so I assume that is to keep the integrity of that. I do love as well that you can use it on either side. It is a double or a single. There's no left or right, so that makes that really easy if you have one on charge. Great for the part-time pumpers or if you're breastfeeding on one side. Again, there's no advanced features with this. You're not going to have the Bluetooth connectivity or a tracking app, but really for a budget wearable breast pump, I wouldn't expect those features in this price range. Overall, it's quite a decent size. You will find when it's in your bra, this top bit will stick out a little bit, so that is something to keep in mind. It's not 100% discreet, but Really, it is, you can see it fits in my hand. It is quite small. I don't know if I mentioned the LED light does not switch off. So for me, that's again something that falls in part of the discretion. It just takes a tiny bit away from it, but overall it's not emitting a huge amount of light. It would only really be noticeable if you have it a really light coloured shirt or a transparent shirt on, or it's nighttime. Now, in terms of noise, I love that this is actually really quiet. It's under 40 decibels, which is really quiet for a breast pump. If you're in an office setting, look, if it's nobody speaking and there's no background noise, you may hear it. You may hear a slight hum, but overall, if there's a little bit of background noise, this is going to be quite discreet in terms of noise. Yeah, overall, I think this is really a great budget-friendly wearable pump, especially for part-time or occasional pumpers. If you're a full-time pumper, I probably would look for a different option. Hope this helps.